ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much yet again for tuning in to the Relative Roads podcast. I appreciate your time so much. I wish you were here with me. We would make another podcast episode together, but you're not. So I talked to my friend Nick instead. Nick is a salesman for a home improvement construction company. They do anything from concrete work to roofing to bathroom kitchen remodel and many more things. I met Nick whilst attempting to do that job myself. Him and I both, he started maybe a little bit before I did, and then I came into the team. We'd go door to door, but also we would be given leads by the company, and sometimes we'd team up, and that's how Nick and I bonded. We were teamed up to go to a couple of leads that we end up talking about in this podcast. Why are they significant? Because they were some really crazy situations that Nick and I had to face together. And I'll give you a little bit of the beef. Basically, one of them was a mentally ill person, which maybe I'm the mentally ill one. I don't know. But she had a setup in her home by herself that would make you think you were inside of a movie about crazy people. It was just crazy, okay? For lack of a better way to describe it. But Nick and I faced that together, and it lasted to this day. We had such a great time talking about that shared experience. And then also another experience we shared was we went to another lead where I looked up the name of the potential customer and came across their Megan's Law profile. That was interesting. We went and followed through with the sale. We didn't actually sell anything, but it was weird in that we had to find common ground with a sexual predator. Weird. Anyways, we talk about those things. We talk about mass shootings, his religious background, beliefs, and all that other great topical podcast type stuff. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I started to say something, but then I messed it up. My bad. Enjoy the episode.
I'm just a wandering nomad out on the interstate. Eventually, all these roads just end up looking the same. And now it's time for another episode of Relative Road.
It is definitely something that I've encountered throughout my many years of talking into microphones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have an issue with the sound of your voice?
Yeah, I do. It's weird. It's just like, and you try to mimic the whole, like, I'm going to put my hands in front of my ears and pretend like I'm like not listening to the voice in my head. And it's just like, ugh, that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
This is a little better. I like this a little better.
You like this than the one in your head?
I mean, yeah, no,
it's
sounds
weird, isn't it?
No, it sounds good.
It's weird that even in this setup, when you go back and listen to it, it's almost nothing like what you hear, whilst you're talking. So
right.
it's just strange. And I feel the same way about the mirror. It's like,
God, yeah,
I don't think I look like that when I leave the mirror. So I'm always looking in the mirror like, is that still how I look? You know what I mean? I'm in a bit of a denial.
You know how the iPhones are, the front-facing cameras when you take a selfie and it just reverses the image and you're just like, well, shit, that's my bad side now.
Okay, let me tell you about a little secret moment of mine. It's when I'm fucking scrolling in the bathroom, right? I'm taking a dump, right? And I'm on fucking Instagram and the fucking app wants me to take a selfie.
Yes. Oh my God. So many times. Like, okay, so I'm scrolling through people's pictures and then I want to go back to the first picture because it's a thirst trap and it's some girl's booty or something.
Yeah.
And then I swipe over and then it's me and I'm just like, oh, well, this isn't what I wanted. Not at all. This is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe it's the big black thing that's hanging in my face that really is it's helping out.
Does that usually calm you down?
Calming me down.
I'll put that in the notes. Always have big black thing for Nick's face. Oh, we're off to a good start.
Oh, cool.
Another thing, I'm just going to rant for a little bit because there's a couple things that caught my attention that I want to talk about. When you see lawyers or doctors who either have bad teeth or are fat as fuck, doesn't that piss you off? It's like, wait a second, dude. I've been looking for these resources and you have them and you're still walking around like you're chewing on fucking bricks. Like, what's going on?
So I have something on that point. I've been doing like the chiropractor a lot.
Yeah.
Like I signed up for the joint. Yeah, of course, we're in California. You got to call it the joint.
Is it? What do you mean? Is that like an actual?
It's an actual place.
practice?
God, it's like the fast food of chiropractic care.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
It's kind
like
of funny. Yeah. So there are these different locations. So if you're on the road or on the go, you have somewhere where you can go and get adjusted. Well, I went to one in Elk Grove, and bro, this dude was huge. He was trying to crack my back, and I felt like I was just being absorbed into his body. Like there was just
Weird.
like, it was weird. It's just like, how do people adjust you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
do
right?
you not live the life?
Yeah.
So I found a really good looking man up in Citrus Heights. You know, all muscly and everything, and that's the right way to go. You want someone who like takes care of themselves,
Yeah.
to take care of you.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I just it
Doctor
bugs-
was fucked up too.
Oh, and the other one is a morbidly obese security guard. Like, that doesn't make me feel safe at all. Quite the opposite. You know, it's like I don't think we should go in this building anymore.
He ain't chasing down shit.
He's like one step away from riding a little go-kart around because he can't walk.
He's just I mean, he'll get in the way.
It's so disturbing.
He'll
Man.
get in the way.
I
It's
can
just
hide
like-
behind him.
I can hide right.
Barely. Myself.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
no, for
Yeah.
sure. Oh god, and then the security guards at like and TJ.
Oh,
Like, damn, man.
yeah.
Okay.
What an embarrassing, what an embarrassing job. I'm sorry if that's what you do for a living, but I mean, how embarrassing,
It's just
right?
like,
To walk in and like you can't be happy.
I swear to God, you steal that $5 shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chase you down.
But most of them, I guarantee, are like, I ain't chasing nobody.
No. Well, I mean, there's a rule, man. You're not allowed to chase people out of the.
This is true.
Out of the store.
This is
It's-
true.
I
I talked to a customer recently I asked them about their shrink level in that department. It was alcohol, and they said it's like roughly $100 and something thousand a month.
Oh my God, I was
That's ridiculous.
growing up. You know, the alcohol runs that people would do. I watched someone fill up a cart with all the alcohol in the aisle, and then just roll it out the front door.
Yeah.
Threw it in the back of a truck and took off.
Yep. You can do that.
You
I mean, the only real downside of that is your own karma, right? At
No,
some
no,
point,
absolutely.
you run around with that
Absolutely.
attitude. You're gonna
And cameras are a bitch now too.
sure
Cameras
sure,
and karma.
Yeah.
you know.
Cameras and karma. It's probably why they spelt it similar.
Similar. It's
Yeah.
Similarly.
That makes sense, actually.
Similar.
Similarly, yeah, we haven't smoked anything today.
No.
But yeah, back to the idea that they're not allowed to chase anybody. It just seems ridiculous that you could do that.
Yeah.
If you had it in you, you could go and load up a grocery cart and walk out the front door and.
So I won't name the name of the market, but there was this way where you could go and you could order a sandwich, and then they had this little dining area, and me and my buddy had done this quite a few times, and he was introducing me to this whole scheme where you ordered a sandwich, you walked upstairs, you ate the sandwich, you threw out the wrapper, and walked out.
Yeah.
Without having paid for it. Well, the very first time that I did that, I started walking out, and I had this guy walk out after us, and it's like, hey guys, did you come back here for a second? Just like super nice, just like friendly. It's like, no, just come on back over here. And I was just like, okay, I'm intrigued. What's going on? Did I win a prize?
Yeah.
and I did. I got my picture taken, and it got put up in the
wow.
wall, and I was banned from the store for a little bit,
Oh.
and I paid the fine right on the spot, and
How embarrassing.
it was super embarrassing.
Yeah.
And never again.
Did you do much of that in your youth?
I fucked around. I
like what though? In detail, a little bit more detail. Like,
there was a lot of drink.
It's barely opening the door.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know if I want to do this.
Just like, okay, so shit. So starting out, I guess like the biggest one. My parents were in transition to move up into the Sacramento area, and I grew up down in the Bay Area. And, you know, I knew that this Honda Civic was going to be mine. I knew how to drive it. I'd gone through but I didn't have my permit. I didn't have anything. And so my parents were leaving, and they were leaving me down in the Bay Area. And I was just like, shit, I need a way to get around. So I was like, hey, you know what, guys? You should hide the Civic somewhere in the neighborhood that I don't know, so that I don't feel tempted to go and drive the car. And they were just like, okay, yeah, that sounds right. Really, I just didn't want my neighbors to see me taking the car out to tell my parents. And so I made a copy of the key one day, and then I just started driving around permitless, 15, 16, just when I should have had my license, but that's it.
You didn't get caught?
No. No, not until I told them.
Oh, that's not bad. Every kid does that. I'm
trying to think of. I've been put in handcuffs a couple of times. Smoked weed for a long.
What'd you get put in handcuffs for?
So I turned 18, and I went and bought a bong and a couple of pipes for me and my buddies, and we went to our normal hangout, let's smoke a little bit of weed and just chill for a sec spot, and we got way too high and ended up chilling for like an hour and a half, just hotboxing the shit out of my car. And all of a sudden, my buddy who's laying in the back, right, he's just posted up, he goes to take a hit, and he's just like, oh shit, we're fucked. And then I hear on the window, and it's just like, oh, I see what you mean. We roll down the windows, and these cops are just getting, they had to have gotten secondhand high, because we had been boxing the car out for at least an hour. And they put us in handcuffs. My buddy had a Viagra. He was 17 years old, had a Viagra in his wallet, and they were just laughing and having a good time at our expense. So that was
so
one time. I've never been to jail.
Oh wow!
No,
so they were just messing with you.
Yeah, and they wrote up a ticket, and they were just like, you could go to jail for contributing to the delinquency of minors, but shit, I wasn't the one with the Viagra in my wallet. So I think they kind of figured. I went to the court. I had a teacher from my high school drive me to the courthouse to go help me take care of this thing. I walked in. I told them my name. Hey, so where am I supposed to be? And they're like, you don't exist in our system. I'm just like, the fuck? They never filled out the paperwork.
Oh wow!
Nothing happened.
So you just skated by.
I did.
You just skated on by.
On
dabbled a little bit in delinquency.
Definitely.
But never really had any.
No,
that's good. That's impressive. You're a good guy.
I try.
And the weed thing, it's legal now. Who gives a shit? You think of it that way.
Now.
You shouldn't drive when you're fucked up, but.
Yeah, I always considered myself the DD, or I guess it would be the DHD, as the designated high driver.
Yeah, right.
I would.
I know my limits.
Well, it wasn't that. It was that I was smoking weed and everybody else was drinking, and I just didn't like drinking.
Sure. And you felt comfortable driving.
Yeah.
You know what? And I don't condone.
No,
I don't condone.
And I don't do it at
distracted
all
driving.
Anymore. No, yeah.
But I rather enjoy driving high.
I'm doing the speed limit. I'm doing the goddamn speed limit.
You know what? From a meditational standpoint, when you got the right music on and the sun is shining and it's a beautiful day, I got to tell you, that is one of the most serene and just glorious moments on the road.
I got to tell you, I completely agree. And I wasn't driving high, and this is but I had gotten really, really drunk the night before and woke up just super hungover, and I had to drive down to the Bay Area. Instead of taking 5,
That sounds gross.
I ended up taking 113, which is the windy ass, right along the river, 1 lane. I got to tell you, one of the best drives I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because I was just Gatorade, just like sun hitting my face, had the window down. I was just feeling it, and really mellow music. And by the time I got to the Bay Area, I was just like, okay, I think I might be able to handle this day.
Yeah. See, kind of a healing aspect to
exactly.
it.
1 lane. 1 lane's where it's at.
Very nice.
Yeah, you start getting 2, 3 lanes. All of a sudden, everybody becomes an asshole. They want to pass you. And
that does happen. Especially if you're under the influence and you're behind the wheel. God forbid anybody puts any real challenges on the road in front of you, because then you're gonna have to deal with it. But if it's just you on a 1-lane highway, it's not so bad. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but don't do drugs and drink and drive.
No,
don't
absolutely
do any of that.
not.
Drive. Do it in your basement and then sober up. And then
absolutely, have a Hot Pocket.
Yeah. Hot Pocket and Gatorade. That's your medication. Take all you need.
Yeah. I used to drive over Highway 17 from Santa Cruz down to San Jose. That was, we had a drinking spot in Santa Cruz.
That road up there, once you get on 17 between, was it San Jose? Yeah, San Jose and Santa Cruz. That could be a little sketchy too.
Oh, yeah, super sketchy.
Yeah.
Super sketchy. I had buddies that would run along the freeway. While I was driving, they got out.
That's my sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Hang on 1 second. Stand by. And go. It's in the restroom. Sorry, I probably should have told you that there are other people in the house.
Person in the house.
It's a haunted house. Yes, it's cozy, but it's haunted.
Oh man, yeah, no. So they would I would be driving down Highway 1, and they'd roll down the windows and get out of my car through the windows and on my car as I'm doing 65 down the. This is why you don't
have friends.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, but I knew my limits. I knew that if I got too tired, that I would pull over and just piss off my drunk friends, because they'd have to just sit in the car on the side of Highway 17 while I just slept for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to work.
You're a pretty cautious person.
Oh, absolutely.
You are. You're a very cautious person.
For sure.
Without too much background, you and I had worked, and I'm saying this for the sake of people listening, but you and I had worked together in a sales scenario, selling home improvement,
yes.
Roofing and doors and windows and
solar, and Quality First is an amazing company. And
okay, I might bleep that out. But
time for a plug.
Yeah. So if you need anybody or need anything done, Nick's your man. But one time in particular, which we'll wait. I want to wait.
Yeah, that's fine
for that.
It's really unnerving to hear you talking and not see your mouth moving.
Is it?
It's
I'm not really saying anything. It's all pre-recorded shit. See? Stupid. Yeah. So, because Adriana, I hate saying my girlfriend. My girlfriend says.
Then you got to put a ring on it.
And she hates. Yeah. Well, every time somebody asks us, "So who's getting married?" I'm like, she hasn't asked me yet.
Yeah, so you've heard of John Mulaney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you heard his bit about this is my girlfriend?
No.
Versus that's my wife, right?
No.
It's super funny, man. It's once you make that transition, it means more, right?
Yeah.
The whole that's my wife. I mean, you could be boyfriend and girlfriend for 15, 20 years. And it's well, that's my partner, I guess, is a good.
But then that's the part where people are like, partner, huh? Okay, I see what's going on here.
All right.
You like the rainbow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See that, and
I'm
that's
like
the,
Skittles.
But you know what?
Eat my
And
rainbow.
to add to that, I don't mind being accused of that, but it's like I kind of want you to have the truth. You know? Don't.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that when it's funny because when you get accused of it and then you turn around and you try to, I've taken to just like letting people think what they want to think.
But you know what? And since you're on this topic, you must get get much more than I do.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Everybody thinks I am. And that's okay.
You're
like,
you're like borderline Metro, but not quite.
Yeah, I take care of myself.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
Is like you're very responsible. You're
Yeah.
cautious. You take care of yourself.
I like looking good. I enjoy taking care of myself because, and honestly, it helps my mental state more
For
than
sure.
anything else.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's not so much like I want.
It's not a vain reason.
No. I mean, it helps me feel better about myself. I feel cleaner. Like, dude, I can't let my beard get any longer than like
It's
a half an inch, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh my God, I'm a hobo.
Yeah.
I've tried growing the beard out.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, mental state went down.
This is what I think it is. Things on the inside are so disarray.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. If I can just like make it look, what's that thing? Like live your life like a duck, calm on the exterior but paddling like hell under the surface.
Yeah, but it's weird, right? There's a balance in life. And like
absolutely.
you're the kind of guy that from the outside and not knowing you, somebody could sum up, that guy's got his shit together. He could have any girl he wants. And all these, assumptions could be made. But knowing you and knowing the kind of turmoil you face on a daily basis based on your own mental health and your own self-perception, there's a balance, and I love it because you could run rampant on this planet and terrorize women, terrorize other men. You could be a force to be reckoned with, which I'm sure you are on some healthy level. But quite frankly, like, it's nice to know that, I on the inside look like you. But on the outside, I'm your insides. That's what's happening here. Do you see that?
Oh, that's funny.
Do you see the balance in nature?
Can I put that? Can we cut that out? And can I put that on my eHarmony?
Yeah.
So that
I'll
people
be
know.
your electronic wingman, your digital wingman.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that'll work.
There's no audio portion of Tinder, is there?
I guess not.
God, it's been rough.
That's a little bizarre too, right? Because
the whole online the apps and stuff.
Yeah. How's that going?
it's a
Or
real
you're
pain.
not doing that, right?
I am a little bit. In
Didn't
fact,
you just have a date?
No. So are we?
I don't know. I'm kind of eavesdropping now that I can hear it. I'm going to put the microphone over.
Turn the mic up. Turn the mic up just a little bit.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I had a date and then she rescheduled, which, I'm just like,
This happens. I understand. Listen,
it happens.
Adriana rescheduled a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because of children, because of age. There's a lot.
That's exactly.
There's a lot on the line for them.
Yeah.
But you have to be diligent and gentlemanly.
Yeah.
And then they ease up, and then they're like, okay, we'll give it a shot. Yeah.
So he's not a
If they're
complete
worth
and total jerk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I intend on, reaching out again. I actually have set something up for like a coffee thing today. So,
You did?
I'm just trying to be out there.
Yeah.
Single mom, 26. So, kind of in my similar situation. And, it's hard to find people that are, I don't know, been struggling with the compatibility thing.
Yeah.
It's been rough because I don't, having a 6-year-old that I don't get to see often because of work, and then I have free time, and it's like, do you date or do you go see your kid?
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is always
Your kid,
you go see your kid. And it's just like as much time as possible. But I also understand that I have to realize a balance there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy for him, right? Because my happiness is just as important in his happiness
Yeah.
as his happiness.
Well, there's a balance, or there's a much more narrow window of suitable people for you to date. Really, they have to be okay with your situation. They have to be okay with your availability emotionally, physically,
Right.
And that's that's why I think that a woman like you're trying to court.
I thought you were about to say a woman like yourself.
Well, even though you said it, it's still funny. But no, I think a woman who's got a lot on the line stands a lot to
absolutely.
lose and has the same set of maturity, because that's really what it is. You're trying to do things right. There's a lot of preservation, a lot of sacrifice that you have to be a part of. That's just how it is, especially for someone who takes responsibility. That's just the fucking balance, you know? And it'll be worth it when you find that person. It does get a little lonely and a little frustrating, but I don't know. It's you teeter-totter, right? Sometimes you're like, I love being single. This is fun. And then otherwise you're like, this fucking sucks.
Yep.
You know?
Right now I've just been, I don't know. I've been trying to focus on just being awesome.
That's great.
I mean, seriously, because it's like I've not felt awesome. Like for myself, it's not meant to be like an outward thing, but just knowing that I can do it.
Yeah.
Because that's always been a huge thing for me, is that self-confidence is super low.
Yeah.
And just lately I've been focusing on just telling myself that I'm awesome. I'm awesome at being me. It's not that I'm awesome in the world just in general, but just I am the best version of myself currently.
Yeah.
And I'm always getting better, right?
Yeah.
Because the best is never, you can't just stop and just be like,
it's an ongoing
all right,
process.
I'm the best now, and I don't ever have to change. It's just like, no, I am currently the best version of myself, and the best version of myself wants to keep getting better.
Yeah.
Right?
I was in that mode, and then I got lazy.
That happens.
Yeah.
Laziness is,
Yeah, and that's when I met Adriana, was that I was in my best... hang on a second. This is way too distracting.
I know.
Hold on, let me pause it.
And we're back.
And we're back. Did you notice that Buddha's missing a hand?
I did. I did. I wasn't going to comment because I thought that it almost looks intentional.
Really?
I mean...
Buddha would give anything. He'd give his left hand for...
Oh, no, there's a cat.
Oh, that's... There's a cat in here? No, that's... that's... What's that fucking cat's name? Oreo. Can you guess why? Because she tastes like Oreos.
God damn. It's like... Every
other cat you meet is called Oreo?
No.
No?
No, it's that my ex's dog's name was Oreo.
That's weird. My ex's dog's name was Nick. I laugh at my own jokes.
I love a
Stupid.
human name for a dog.
Right? Jeffrey, get off of that tree. Yeah.
God, we've got the dachshund at the house, and his name is Marty.
Marty?
Marty and Ellie.
I haven't experienced that yet, where I say, hi, my name's Mike. Oh, hey, my dog's name is Mike. I think I'm going to start saying that.
I get a dog and name her Gertrude.
Gertrude?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That
I don't know many Gertrudes.
Yeah.
Shannon?
Shannon.
Yeah. You have to pick like a Jennifer?
Jennifer.
My dog's name is Jennifer.
Oh my
That's
God.
actually my sister's name, so
that's
a little bit rude,
Brianna.
unintentionally. Brianna.
Brianna.
Yeah. Bomquisha. It's
Right.
got a little novelty.
You do live around here, so.
Yeah.
I'm
Really?
I'm sure you've
This
heard-
reputation, the neighborhood's
Yes,
reputation.
yeah. No, I don't know.
Do you know that just yesterday they found a dead body in a car at the Taco Bell around the corner?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, somebody had been shot and left to rot in the parking lot. And I don't know if it was self-inflicted. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything, but
Oh, man.
the reason, like, when my son got dropped off, I was informed at that point that there was some commotion going on. And then I looked on the Nextdoor app. Have you ever looked at the Nextdoor app?
I have not. No.
So Nextdoor app is your neighborhood, and it's just your neighbors. It's literally like a Facebook for your neighbors.
Got it.
Yeah, and like it'll show where the post was from in terms of like location in the neighborhood,
Okay.
like streetwise or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is actually pretty cool, especially
I'll have to look into that.
a lot of times they'll post like videos or pictures of theft from people who just go up on their driveways and steal shit, or if somebody's car's getting broken into.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's good, and it's a little alarming. It causes a
scary.
little bit of paranoia. It's like,
yeah, I mean, but a little bit of paranoia is good.
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, you gotta have it at least.
you got to be cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the name of your game. Cautionary tale, Nick Lowry.
Yeah. Yep.
You should write a children's book.
Cautious Nick.
Cautious Nick. It's not Curious George. It's Cautious Nick. Never in the same room at the same time. George gives him a little bit of anxiety.
Yep,
Cautious Nick can't be there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, children's books. That's a trend happening. People are writing children's books.
Yeah, so I was actually talking to a guy who's writing like Grimm's fairy tale sort of things, but for stuff that we're experiencing, like social media bullying and kids learning about sex, because it's something that it's been a pretty strong fight in our society about, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we are
It is
very
relevant.
very straight edge when it
Sorry, she's
comes
rearranging
to-
the curtains. She's disagreed with that arrangement for quite some time. It must be a cat thing. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
She's got some interior style. She's a cutie, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's the actual pussy, and yet my dog.
I bet
Conveys that
does
energy.
Does she run the house?
Yeah. Oh, she terrorizes the dogs.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They're not playful in that way. So like, so they'll walk out and then they'll walk back in the room when she's out here because they don't want to be messed with, and she'll like stalk them from corners. Like, it's funny if you watch, the little Chihuahua will be like trying to edge towards the water to get a drink, and then she has to look over to the side and see the cat like rearing up, getting ready to like pounce on her, and she'll bark and yell at her like, "Hey, bitch, I'm trying to drink some water."
Fair enough.
comedy, man.
That's great.
It's good
right?
comedy. Yeah. This kitten is terrorizing these fucking pussy ass dogs.
And it's a kitten. She's little.
Oh yeah, she's great.
She's new.
It's funny. Each animal that came into this family, I was real reluctant.
Yeah.
I didn't want more responsibility.
Right.
But you know how animals are. They grow on you.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
become family. You know what I mean? And like, she's our friend now. Like, anytime I come home, she belongs to Adriana's son who lives here.
Okay.
And so she spends a lot of time in his room because that's his cat.
Right.
But so that's how, in terms of ownership, that's who she belongs to. But
Okay.
when she's out here, she's our friend. And I'll ask Adriana, Blake, is our friend out here? I want to miss her,
Aw.
Like, it's kind of a weird grandbaby relationship, if I dare say. It's a little strange. It carries that energy.
Goodness. That's funny.
Yeah. It's a weird. They add this weird element to relationships, don't they? Because they don't speak. You don't use spoken language typically to communicate with them. You say something sometimes,
Right.
but you read their language from their interaction with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I think actually scientifically, it's probably better for your brain to have an element of animal communication in your home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure. Because I mean, most of the time, except for cats are assholes.
Well, I'd rather deal with those assholes than some of these human.
No, absolutely.
forms.
No, that's definitely true. I think the dogs with the whole unconditional love, and I don't. Yeah, it's.
So you're saying you're a dog person?
I am very much a dog
Wholeheartedly,
person.
huh?
Mhm.
So do you not like cats at all?
It's not that I don't like cats. It's that there's a slight allergy that I get kind of itchy.
Oh, how you doing right now?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not major or anything, and I can withstand it. It's just that if I start doing this, I have not done blow this morning. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like to do some now?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. It might balance you out. You have a reason to, mess with your
I'll
nostril.
turn into Hiccup.
Yeah. Oh, really? Hide behind the couch while I yell at the front door. Who's there? Stay back there. Stay back there. They're not gone yet. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Okay, so
that was a good break.
I thought so. This has been a lot of fun already. It's not usually this. I think that you just bring that out of me. Like
we always
you're always so put together.
Had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
We always had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I forgot too. I was gonna bring up Adam A. Brown. What was her name?
Verna Jo. Yeah, I've talked about that a couple of times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
for sure.
for those listening, Nick and I were tagged in a team effort to go and sell home improvement at a house in, was it South Sacramento?
It was South Sac, yeah.
South Sacramento. So we already kind of knew, like, this might not be comfortable. But when we got there, it really got uncomfortable. And I'll kind of briefly tell my version of the first, impression, but we
you got to do the voice, man. You got to do the voice.
I don't know if I can conjure it up.
It's the Bernie Mac voice.
What did she say? She
was like, she talked about being a dog catcher, but all she could
a
catch
dog
was
catcher.
turkeys.
And they're fine for catching chickens.
Chickens
It's like
and
Bernie Mac.
Chickens and turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chickens. I got fired for catching chickens and turkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, you handsome. Boy, you handsome man.
Meanwhile, in clown makeup, she's a sweet.
So let me set it up
slightly
then
disturbed lady.
to get some visuals. This was very, very disturbing. In fact, I think we should have left as soon as she opened the door. But I get it. We didn't know what we were doing. We wanted to get some practice at the very least.
4 windows. You got to make that sound.
Yeah, but I kept thinking about the construction crew that was going to have to come in after us. It's like they're going to walk in and say, "I'm not doing this."
Even more fun.
Brown
More fun.
experience.
I have a feeling that her linoleum floors were sticky so that she could catch people.
Yeah, let's go with that. Because the alternative is probably a lot grosser.
Oh boy, yeah.
Remember, she had a store.
Yeah.
She had a little store in her pantry.
Take some gum.
Take some gum. Wait,
Do you want a can of tuna? No, Verna.
Is that you? Is that me? What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Because every podcast you listen to happens exactly the way that it is displayed. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Pete Holmes does a pretty good job of keeping things
rolling. No, I mean, I'm glad that you like that because that's one of my favorites.
I just love I love his reconditioned introspect and how he sees the world coming from a very structured religious lifestyle.
Right. I know. Yeah, it's a
I
really
like that he's
cool
had a turnaround.
perspective.
Yeah,
it's a really cool perspective.
And I enjoy because one of my biggest curiosities too is what people think is going on, what the world is, what it all means. It's such a broad question, but I like that he implements that in every episode with every guest. It's like, what do you think is going on?
His little speed round at the end is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
It just, but
yeah. One of the best podcast episodes, not necessarily Pete Holmes, but that I've listened to recently is fucking people.
God.
The
damn dog.
Joe Rogan and Miss Pat. Have you heard that?
No.
It's recent. She's a stand-up comedian,
Okay.
but she's got quite a history behind her as far as like, dare I say, prostitution, child abuse, molestation. She's got children that aren't hers, that belong to family members that are on drugs, and just crazy shit.
Yeah, a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah, basically,
a lot of
it
funny,
certainly has
a lot of funny stuff there.
Yeah, she definitely
it's
uses humor.
It's funny how humor, how pain can really influence humor.
Yeah.
And it is a great tool.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a significant amount of pain.
And I think that's good for you. I think you're on your way to success. I think, without getting too spiritual, I think there's a balance you're not meant to have everything you want right now. Neither am I. I'm not meant to have the millions of dollars because I've got a list of cars that I want to buy that I don't need. You know?
Yeah, me too.
But I think you're going to be around a while, and at least I hope you are. And I think that, when you have the life set up that you see fit for yourself, it'll be after earning,
Oh, absolutely.
And having the ability to keep that momentum,
Right.
as opposed to peaking and then falling back down onto the
Right.
the rocks and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think so many lottery winners end up destitute, poor, and
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
Like millions and millions of dollars, and you couldn't set yourself up?
Yeah.
It's because you weren't meant to have that money.
You can't channel that energy correctly.
Yeah, no, and it's weird, and money definitely it shifts energy. Because I mean, shoot, man, I went from working in restaurants making minimum wage and just like constantly working, just trying to get ahead, and making nothing, to making what I feel an adult should be making.
Yeah.
And
you're how old again?
I'll be 30 on the 30th. It's my golden birthday, bro.
That's good.
Golden
Congratulations.
birthday.
I just turned 39.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm in the last year of the 30 decade.
Oh, man.
It's interesting. I'm going to let the dog in, and then I'm going to tell you about that.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and schedule more interruptions.
Yeah, if we could. So while you're letting the dog in, is there a restroom?
Yeah, you can either go in the master bedroom.
I'll go in the master bedroom.
All the way down the hall into the east wing.
Is this the double door?
Yeah, double door. Shut up!
Marijuana factory.
Marijuana mine?
I used to do that.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Worked
used to,
at a...
Well, this was back before weed was all like legal and shit. And I would drive up to Crescent City to a grow house and would trim for like a week at a time. It's not bad money. Not great. And the 7-hour drive that it took to get up there, but it was beautiful once we were up there.
Did you get free weed out of it?
I did. I got free weed and they would cut us paychecks. But I mean, I had a buddy that kind of went off the deep end. He was my connection into the group. And basically I came back and I said, hey, you know what? You should probably just take what they would give you cash wise in weed, and you could easily turn around and sell it for more and make more money. And it was true, because they were growing some really good pot. Mm-hmm. And when they would, if you were making like $100 per ounce or whatever the ratio was, I can't remember, but I would prefer to take it in weed, maybe a little bit of cash, but mostly in weed, because I would turn around and I would sell it and make much better money that way. And he saw it as me taking advantage of them, and it was just like, no, bro, I'm just trying to get.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so he told me to pound sand, which was the first time I'd ever heard that expression.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, he had
He
had Lyme's disease, so he was.
What is that? I mean, I have heard of it, but I don't know.
It's it's if you get bit by a tick, it's something that just lives in you. I'm not really sure what it does entirely.
So
I should know more, because I dated a girl with Lyme's disease. All I know is that it's transmitted sexually, and
I bet that was a sour relationship.
No, it was
because it was limes.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
A
well,
little bit of salt, a little bit of tequila.
Yeah.
Made everything better.
everything was kosher. Going back to Vernon Joe Brown.
Oh boy.
So
The tabloids that were pasted on the wall and
magazine cutouts, magazine pages. There was popcorn spilt all over the floor. The TV was on. There were little dollar store knickknacks everywhere. I think there was a gumball machine on the floor as well in the living room. The carpet was stained with like soda and juice and God knows whatever else has been in there. She's got lipstick halfway up her upper lip and just sort of spread out throughout her face. What was she wearing on her head? It was a ski cap, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, her friends were there too.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Oh,
had the witch
shit.
and the witch and the
Oh,
bunny.
shit. It was like a mental home without any supervision. That's what it was. Because she was running the show. And, and I just couldn't believe, I have to say, I couldn't believe that you were trying to conduct business there. Legitimately. You were trying to like create an estimate, to go over the numbers, offer a deal. It was like you were coping with the situation through work. And I'm like, Nick, this is not right. We need to go. And you're like, no, listen, I'm going to try and sell her something. I'm like, all right, let's go for it. Let's just stand in this.
I need a little bit more of that these days. It
was
just like
so uncomfortable,
oh, man,
but so
was.
good.
I do remember having not being able to hold it in any longer and stepping out and
Yeah,
making a call and leaving you alone with her.
Oh, that was fucked up. That was fucked up.
I remember regretting that just a little bit.
Yeah. She started having a conversation with a little stuffed bunny rabbit and a witch.
Yeah.
Like a little witch, Halloween, like sort of like figure for like for decoration.
She was under the assumption that I was taking the bunny rabbit home.
That's right.
I just
Yeah. And she's like, "You're going to a new home. You're going to live with him," or some shit like that.
And then the witch started arguing with her.
The witch got upset.
Yeah,
I think she started smacking the witch in the face.
Oh
this
my
was
God.
a full-on conversation between Brown, a witch, and a bunny rabbit.
Yeah. She offered me a 7-Up and I took it and then instantly regretted the first sip. I was just like, I'm going to die here.
Yeah.
This is how it ends. Not the worst. I mean, definitely the most interesting appointment.
Yeah.
But boy, do you remember Keith?
I don't want to put his name out there like that, but
So
it's okay. I'll bleep his name out.
Let's roll it. Yeah,
I'll bleep his name out. Don't worry about that.
Let's roll it back.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, just the two most pungent experiences.
Memorable
was Joe Brown. I'm not done feeling that out.
All right.
That was in essence like that woman should not have been living alone.
No.
Should not have been living alone. Should not really be out anywhere alone. And
Walk into Walmart all by herself.
And honestly, we should have left, but I am so grateful that we shared that experience together because
Absolutely.
That's not something I thought it was a joke. I thought there was a prank happening. I thought they knew what that lead was, and they sent 2 newer guys to go into this situation.
I mean, I've suggested it now.
Really?
I have.
That's
I've
funny.
suggested it as, oh, really? Oh, shoot. Hold on one second.
Go ahead. You're ready.
Yeah. No, so just, I mean, little things like now I have like a backlog of work. And so there is a larger number that I'm able to pull from, and I don't pull everything. So I have like, I want to say like three or four backlogged paychecks.
Good.
That I can just, so I know that I'm good for the next month.
Excellent.
Right.
That gives you some
I know
ease.
that it's there. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the stress isn't so much about the money. It's just about keeping the jobs coming in. And that has definitely given me a lot more peace of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Make you feel a little more comfortable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's been a road though, man. Those first couple of, yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
while you were there, and
I couldn't wait. I just couldn't do it.
I understand.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
understand.
really bad timing.
Well, and management was a little me.
I guess. I mean, I don't think I did enough to deal with those issues with him.
Right.
But I just couldn't afford to give more time. I think I could have weathered that storm because I would have been in it for the right reasons.
Right.
But because of my situation, it just didn't work out. And there's a slight bit of resentment because I feel like I could have done well in that industry, but it's okay. Without coining the phrase "things are meant to be" or whatever. I think it worked out just fine.
Yeah.
I found another way.
That's awesome.
I'm
definitely glad to hear that. I'm definitely glad that we haven't lost touch and all that. That's because that's something that I am notorious for.
For losing touch. Well, we shared such unique experiences. We did with
yes,
Verna, and then, as you had mentioned, Mr. Lowe, out in Davis.
How do you find common ground with a pedophile?
So that is a very debatable, easily debatable argument, I think, because he's still a person.
Yeah.
However mentally ill
right.
he is.
Yeah, no, and it was definitely bizarre. It was a bizarre experience just because you had something, you had a preconceived notion, and then you had who the man actually was.
Right.
Right? Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, it's... I don't know what made me think to look him up.
You recognize the name.
Oh, that's right. It was, I thought... Oh, no, it was his face. No, it was the name. And I actually was thinking of a comedian in town, Keith Lowell Jensen. Is who it was. He's a stand-up comedian. And the name rung the bell, and I'm like... Who the fuck is this in my mind?
You were just like, oh my God, an entertainer. And then you're like, ooh, that's the wrong kind of entertainment.
That's not the audience I'm looking for. He's doing a little bit of more sketchy comedy. Yes, that was the question. As far as like challenges in sales, how do you find common ground with a pedophile? And we didn't even know the circumstances of. It doesn't really matter. I mean,
it really doesn't.
If it says
we don't
under
need to be airing, all of it. That's his dirty.
Well,
laundry.
I'll bleep out his name.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
But yeah, so to protect people,
right? Yeah.
But and that was kind of the part of the job that really irked me is that not only am I already going to somebody's house to try and sell them something I don't buy into 100% myself.
Got it.
Now I have to find common ground with somebody I don't feel I should try to find common ground with.
Oh, yeah.
For no professional reason other than to sell them something I don't really believe in. So the whole thing felt like a con to myself. It's like, this is not authentic in any way.
I am conning myself.
Yeah, and there was like, it was almost like selling a little bit of myself to the devil for the sake of personal gain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was a big issue for me.
And that is definitely something that I struggled with initially.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to like the Evening of the Stars? No. So that there,
it's like that movie Devil's Advocate. They really like showboat for this guy, for Keanu's character. Have you seen Devil's Advocate?
No.
The devil is like trying to coax Keanu Reeves as a lawyer to come to his firm in a big city, and he's giving him all these benefits, all these nice cars, these nice things, and it's like, come on in. That's what I felt like the Night of the Stars.
Oh yeah,
was Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but anyway,
there was a lot of recognition, and through like the quarterly awards and stuff like that, just the consistency of them, I think, You're absolutely right. I mean, maybe it's feeding us the Kool-Aid. But at the same time, I really do feel like there was recognition of the employees, and I've worked in industries where that hasn't really been the case.
Yeah.
You know, I was in retail for a while. I was in restaurants for a long time. And you don't, aside from like being a cook and going to war with your fellow cooks every night to serve dinner, because that's what it is. You're going to war. Like you prep, you get ready, and then that dinner rush hits, and all of a sudden you gotta work together to make it happen. Aside from that, there was no real recognition from ownership or anything like that. And so to finally go to a company where there was pretty steady recognition and, with a decent monetary gain and that sort of stuff, it was different. And I was sold because, the owner really believes.
Well, he's the number one salesman in that company. If you think about it, to get all these guys to buy in, he has to bring a certain level of energy. And I think when I've sat in those meetings, and when he walks up, there's a bit of a huge stage presence, and he doesn't fall back in any way. No. It's like, we're selling this shit, and if you're here to win, then that's what we're gonna do. But I think the other part of why because knowing you and that you're a man of a certain stature, and you believe in certain things, and you have some moral compass that seems to be working well. I think that the fact that they do actual quality work,
that helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
You're not selling shit product.
I sold my dad windows.
Oh.
Yeah. It took a while, but I finally got him windows, and I mean, I do actually believe that they're going to do a really good job for him.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of the biggest, once I made that kind of that switch to where it's like, oh, I would feel comfortable having this company do work on my family's home. I think at that point I'm sold.
Yeah.
And so man, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
You do.
I still do get some fun interactions. Not near anything like what we got to do. I do miss that.
What's that?
The
crazy stuff?
Yeah, the crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, the discomfort.
The discomfort. Well, and I mean, we always brought a level of comedy to the whole thing. And
the camaraderie is a big deal.
Oh, it is.
When you're struggling.
Now we got a bunch of old guys in our office.
Yeah.
We still have the core. We still have,
Steve's not there, right?
No. No Steve, no Ramin, no Tim. None of those guys are still there.
High turnover.
Sorry, all you're going to hear on your end is no bleep, no bleep, no bleep.
Well, first names are fine. Yeah, it's no big deal. But whole names are a bit of a possibly an issue.
Excuse me.
But no, and this is good for the podcast because some of the questions I ask will be relative to your work, what you do, what it's like for you, how you feel about people after doing this. In sales especially, I think sales has this sort of greasy aspect to, consumers. It's like, I feel that way. When me and my girl go into a store, the last thing we want is somebody to come hassling us for sales. You know what I mean?
Can I help you find something?
Yeah. Every 5 minutes, you're still good. You don't need help right now. Yeah, we're good. Thanks, buddy.
See, and it's funny because now that I have been, because I used to be like that. I was just like, no, I got it. I'm just looking.
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
Now you're a little more sympathetic.
Oh my God. So much more. I'll go into Best Buy and someone will walk up and be like, hey, do you need any help? And I'm just like, I mean, I'll listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy anything, right? Because I used to be that guy that was very easily sold.
Yeah.
And so it was always terrified of a salesperson coming up because I was like, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
I have a 55-inch 4K TV in my bedroom that speaks to, hey, you have no backbone against salespeople. It is a testament.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why you got that TV.
That's why I have the
Wow.
TV. Is I got sold. But now having been in it, I think it's an incredible education that I've gotten. And it's untouchable. It's not the end all be all, right? And home improvement is not where I'm going to end. That doesn't mean that I don't love the company. It just means that I know that there is more out there, and I am excited to explore and kind of see where, this new skill set that I've acquired, where it can take me, because I know that it's far. I know that it is.
And if you could do anything other than what you're already doing, what would that be?
Shit, man, again, with learning about sales, I mean,
is there any sort of artistry that you've always...
yeah, of course. I mean, I love singing. I love acting. I just, for whatever reason, it kind of got beaten out of me. And it's really sad because it was something that I was really passionate about. But
how did that happen?
I was told at kind of a younger age, when I was kind of formulating this whole passion for the art, you have to be really lucky to have any success in this, or, you got to know the right people, and you just don't really know the right people. It was just, there was a lot of negativity that was brought on the industry as a whole. And after having worked in a couple of different industries, there are so many more jobs in acting and music than just being the talent.
Yeah.
So many more.
Yeah, totally.
There's so much background work. Why do you think there are end credits?
Sure.
Look at all those fucking names.
Yeah.
There are so many people, and I could have been one of those names.
Sure.
I don't have to be the talent. I would have loved to have been the talent.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that I wouldn't have, at some point made the realization, well, I'd sounded like a frog there for a second. Well, I'd actually like to...
I'm not going to comment on that. I'll let you finish your thought.
Right. No, but I probably would have had the realization, I actually want to make a living at this. But I think just the industry itself, just being in that vein, performing, and it's all comes from a place of wanting to please people. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because
obviously you bought another 55-inch television when people were telling you this isn't what you think it is. And because I could see the pattern where you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just do something else. But I asked that question because as you get older, especially you're 30, I'll just turn 39. The sense of urgency to do what's really, deeper within you just gets more intense.
Right.
And I do feel that although it may be scary, now mind you, when you venture into something that's not going to give you any sort of income right off the bat, or it may jeopardize your livelihood, and you've got kids and a lot, a system to keep in place. I think that there are ways you have to do it, like build towards that, legitimately. Right. And not just dive right in, because you'll end up hurting yourself or backpedaling.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just curious how close you are to maybe working towards a more authentic career path. You know what I mean?
Not close at all.
Yeah.
I would say honestly. I've given myself, about 5 years.
Yeah.
Kind of doing what I'm doing.
Sure.
And see if I can,
Not that doesn't relate to what you're going to be able to do when you are there.
Yeah, no, for sure. it is definitely a learning experience.
Well, it's sales too.
Right.
You're selling yourself as a product
Right.
in acting. So I think,
exactly,
especially with networking, I think when you're conducting business that way, like you're going to be killing it.
Yeah. I gotta start doing that.
And when you get older, the great thing about maturity, especially in the industry of entertainment, you don't get so easily pulled away with distractions that maybe, people in their youth do. Drugs, sex, those types of things can really pull you away from a prominent career, or promising career. But I think
one of those definitely has a hold over me right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but even so, like you're even in that case, you're not really a typical, single guy. You're not out there chasing the same thing that I think a majority of single guys are chasing. I think you're open to your sexuality, which is not a bad thing, but it's not a priority for you. Clearly, you don't just say yes to the next thing that jumps in your lap. Most nights. Most nights you're in bed on time because you got to go to work. But that's what I'm saying is that there's a balance that you keep, purposefully because you're going after a goal. But I'm just excited for you, and not to put pressure on you to do anything different than what you're doing. But I'm excited that knowing you and that you will eventually be doing what you want to be doing. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I am very thankful that I ultimately made the decision to switch jobs, man. 'Cause like being in what I'm doing right now will give me the opportunity to actually go do what I want to do.
Yeah, especially in Northern California.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemingly, I think the platforms have changed quite a bit.
They're making their way up here, I think.
Yeah. But also you create so many relationships doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Who knows what other opportunities are going to
absolutely
fall into place.
And that's one of the things that I guess I do miss about working at, like, let's say Starbucks, right? Because my job at Starbucks, I was making connections every single day.
Yeah.
And they were some very successful people also drink Starbucks coffee. And being able to have conversations with people like that, that's, I think, where I started getting bit by that bug of, hey, there's more out there. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's more out there. You don't have to do what you're doing, and I was definitely struggling through Starbucks, and I was getting promotions and stuff like that, but I definitely wanted something more. And I'm so glad that, I finally took the leap. I had no overhead, so I was chilling. Yeah. Like, hey, I can go to be. I'm already poor.
Yeah.
There's not much further down I can go.
How much more painful can it get?
Yeah, exactly. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's interesting because you grow when you're uncomfortable. Yes. Growth is uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's why your body hurts when you're literally physically growing.
Right.
But it's a weird concept to do on purpose. You know what I mean? Like to put yourself through pain. I know bodybuilders have a much more reasonable outlook on this, but for someone like myself, speaking personally, like for instance, with Gabby moving in, I tend to want my life to be super comfortable. And I think it's right. I think I get into these moments where I'm like, okay, no more stress. Things are going good. I need to just keep it that way. And I want to help family too. Like that's important to me as well. Yeah. And when the idea of, hey, can so-and-so stay here? Mind you, my mom just came to visit. And I told my mom outright, like, you can't live here, Mom. I can't handle it. You can't live here. And found out later that when Adriana heard me say that, it kind of broke her heart. She's like, it's your mom. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we, discussed Gabby coming and stay with us for a while. Then it was like, oh man, I don't have to stress, but now I have to. And then I realized I was at work and I realized I'm like, okay, I'm not going to grow if I don't face some of these challenges. And I'm like, and with stand-up comedy in mind and how I want to reattempt to do that, I'm like, there's no better situation than to be uncomfortable for stand-up comedy. So I had to do some self-reassessing and realize like, oh, okay, you jackass, you selfish bastard.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I get that.
I had a buddy just recommend listening to Joe Rogan conversation with David Goggins.
Yeah. He's a funny fella.
Oh, you've heard it?
Well, no, I've heard David I watched David Goggins on Instagram.
Oh,
he's just a funny guy. Like
Yeah.
he's very serious and
to the point where
definitely military or militant.
Yeah.
But I love that he's a minimalist. He doesn't really need much of anything.
Right.
And he advocates that message. He's like, you fucking assholes who think you need a bigger house, a nicer car, fuck you motherfuckers. And he talks that way too, you know? But yeah, anyways, you were going to say?
No, it just that whole belief of like, be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's where all of your growth is happening.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Is in those moments of, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And then you really test who you are.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's something that I have, because I love being comfortable.
Yeah.
Man, it's great.
Likewise.
But it's also really depressing.
And dangerous.
It is
very dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, because, again, one of the things, I take it back to Starbucks. I'm very thankful for that job. I really am, because it showed me a lot of different things while also getting me healthcare very quickly. But, you know, that's a point in my life where I had a little bit more free time, so I could go and exercise more frequently, make myself uncomfortable that way. I was approaching more people on a regular basis and just stepping out of my comfort zone on a regular basis and constantly being sore from the gym, you know, having gone through a couple of different relationships, you know, but I felt myself growing, you know, and then all of a sudden I got into a relationship where I was comfortable and it was easy and it didn't work. Right. And it was because I wasn't pushing myself anymore. I mean, I was like at work, I was pushing myself, but not in a relationship. I don't know. It ended up ending poorly. But yeah, being uncomfortable is great because then you actually, when you succeed at something,
you're being challenged.
Oh my gosh.
The payout is way better.
It's way better.
But like, it's weird that complacency is like, it's just a weird byproduct of,
it's sought after,
of like
everybody
success.
Wants it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to never have to work again. And it's like
I'm guilty of that. I am so guilty of that.
Me too. It's our lottery society.
Yeah.
I have the opportunity of having so much money I never have to work again. What happens to them?
That's the weird part about the human experience, right? Is to at some point have the perspective of your programming, seeing your programming and then analyzing it. That's a weird thing. That's the thing that makes us human.
Right.
You know, is being conscious of those the history behind you and why you do the things you do, and then trying to implement, you know, new neural pathways and to change the way
new ideas,
you're built,
all that stuff. Yeah.
So bizarre, but so intriguing. I'm not even smart enough to really talk about that, but I see the concepts, you know, and I buy in. Like, I totally, without doing a bunch of acid and other, you know, trippy drugs, I still am able to see, and I don't smoke pot anymore. I don't do any of those. I'm trying to get there without the use of drugs.
Yeah.
Because I know the value in opening your mind and your thoughts to other ideas, you know what I mean?
Driving while quiet. No radio, no nothing. Yeah. Every once in a while, I just start having, you know, these ideas and these thoughts and these. It's crazy because start seeing what our society is as a whole, because it's so easy to just get caught up in what you're doing.
Yes.
Right.
And
I'm
being
super guilty of
routine.
it. Like, I really only need to know what's happening in about 100-foot radius of myself.
Yeah.
Right. If there's a fire, run. Stuff like that. But it's very surface until you realize that everybody is in that same position.
Mm-hmm.
And there are millions and billions of people, right, that are all in that same position of, hey, I have to be worried with what's happening in about 100-foot radius of myself.
Right.
Yeah. And just all of these streams of consciousness that are going on. And it just like, it blows my mind every once in a while.
It is.
And it's just like, what is happening?
That's why the whole mass shooting thing is so crazy. And it's weird to think that you're walking by these people every day. Every day you walk by these anomalies that you're not really sure. We trust each other. We drive down a freeway at 70, 80 miles an hour, and we trust that the car next to us isn't going to just swerve into us.
Kind of, right?
Or a two-lane highway when you're both going about 60, 70 miles an hour right at each other, that the other one's not going to veer into the other lane, which does happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's all these instances where consciousness or the present moment eludes somebody, and then they literally drift into your lane, and boom, life explodes, and then, death's a part of that interaction. And
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to think. I mean, self-preservation is a really strong feeling.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody.
No. And there's different levels of it. You
Right.
know what I mean? There's intellectually, being mindful of where you are in terms of your own education, being, where you are emotionally, your emotional health, and then there's physical health, and then the balance of the two and the correlation between the two, how one can affect the other, and so on. There's so many nuances in your life that you have to keep track of, and that's where sanity plays a part, is, where you start losing the concept of reality, is where crazy people happen and mass shootings happen. And at some point, these people disconnect. They lose the tether to reality, and they think that this idealism that they're bought into is the right way, and it's not matched up with the moral compass of the majority, I would think, at least in American culture,
Right. And I feel like there are so many people that have the similar beliefs and ideas. There's just like this conscious, you've got that voice in the back of your head that's like, this is a really bad idea. You really shouldn't do that.
But that disappears.
But then that disappears.
Or gets
right?
shut out.
Right. Exactly.
And I think what it is like your ego takes a front seat, and then, your id, or the real you, takes a back seat. And that's what happens, is you let the ego take the wheel, and then you lose sense of reality, I think, is what happens. Yeah. And there's a mental illness happening there. And I don't know how it's going to be addressed. I don't think it's going to be fixed within the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and that's terrifying.
Which is extremely terrifying. It's almost to the point where, what's the point in going anywhere where it's highly populated? You can't trust the ratio of things happening versus not happening, because
absolutely.
Because people are suffering, and things seem to be happening at a high rate of speed. Like these 3 shootings within
exactly
within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Gilroy, El Paso, and Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one in Chicago too.
Really?
Yeah.
When was this?
God, it was a couple of days ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, they're becoming so frequent, and so and the problem that I see is that we are becoming numb to it.
Do you ever think of this? When I think of Mexico, I think of cartel. I think of drug-ridden communities, violence around every corner. Mm-hmm. This is my bad perception of it. And I know that. I know that it's a very limited experience of that community. But then if you think of America from that sort of perspective, I don't want to go to America. Look at all these mass shootings. Look at all this crazy shit with immigration. Look at all this racism. You know what I mean? Like, America's starting to look really bad when we haven't always looked that bad.
Right.
And isn't that bizarre that we live, in Mexico, so to speak? Like, we are the new Mexico or Middle East or what have you. We're just
no, for sure. Where, I mean, there's a lot of, it was a very safe place for a long time.
Seemingly
safe place. And I think a lot of that comes with social media and
that's the
media
other thing
in general.
The exposure.
The exposure is a lot higher now, and it's instant.
Yeah.
But
statistically, things are measurably getting worse from what I've learned. I mean, if you look at the crime increase in Sacramento alone, it's literally, according to, statistics online,
right,
in the media, it's gotten worse. And I don't know what source is really trustworthy, but let's just
And that's
go
the scary
with it.
thing too, is that where can you actually find information that is true? And I feel like there are so many biased opinions out there that you have to weed through all of it, and try to find, I don't know, your truth.
Well, how does it affect you specifically with all that we've just talked about? What's going on?
So I am guilty of feeling like, hey, it really hasn't affected me yet. So the Gilroy shooting was a little close.
Yeah, especially to your family.
Especially to my family, because my dad has a business down there, and I don't know if my son and his mom and they're okay.
Yeah,
but I don't know if on that day they decide to go down to the Gilroy Festival, because I mean, they're close enough.
Yeah, literally.
So so that one hit a little close to home, but I don't know. I guess I feel like a small fish, and I don't feel like I have the ability to change much.
Well, I beg to differ on that note, but I'll explain the effects it's had on me without getting too lengthy. But I'm much more aware of my environment when I go out. I pay attention to exits. I pay attention to who's around me in that moment and how close I am to the back of the building versus the front. I plan exit routes. I make sure that I know where my son is, even if he's with his mother, for the most part. I mean, there's no tracking device on him or anything. But, I mean, I'm just more conscious of that parameter you were talking about, that 100 meters out or whatever, within this certain distance from me, I'm much more keenly aware of what's going on. I don't know if that's going to serve me in the end. I would assume it does. I think military even trains that you need to pay attention to what's going on around you, take different routes, change it up every once in a while so that it's not predictable. But in terms of people and how I deal with new relationships or people, I think I try. I don't know how successful I am all the time. I know that I can get a bad attitude depending on how my day's going, but I try to give good energy in every interaction and be authentic and not filter so much, because I think people need the truth to sort of set us free in moments with each other, because people need to know they can trust you. That's kind of the problem, is we don't trust each other in society. And I have been, even subconsciously, I've been just more out front about what's on my mind. If I have something to say, I just fucking say it.
Right.
Like if I see a neighbor outside and he's doing something, like, hey, what are you doing? I'm a little bit more nosy. You know what I mean? And I think it sets people free of their own intuitive paranoia. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what this neighbor really wants. He just asked me what the fuck he wants to know, and I'm going to tell him because I'm grateful. You know what I mean? And I want the same thing. And let's say that Trump was really candid about his shit, and whether he's a shitty person or not, without me judging him, I appreciate the ability to just be honest and open about what's going on in your head. You know what I mean? And I take that as a means to just let some of that shit go and just be like, all right, well, that's how it's affected me. And that's kind of what I'm asking, because you say, as one person, I don't feel like I can make a huge difference. And I think that the only true difference anyone can make, without getting politically involved, without doing any sort of philanthropic kind of work, which is always an option,
Right.
but should always come from a real, authentic place within you.
Right.
The only real contribution you have is to treat people right and to be aware of your surroundings.
Okay.
That can change the world.
Yeah. And I mean, in that case, I mean, that is something that I do. Maybe not to the extent of, tracking exit routes and all of that, but I do like to think that I have pretty good situational awareness.
Yeah.
Like if I feel something happening, I make my way to a safe spot. You're right. I do. I keep tabs on my kid, when he's with me. I'm very fortunate to have a good relationship with his mother, so I trust her. I trust her a lot with his safety.
This is good.
This
gives you peace of mind.
Exactly. Yeah, no. And I trust her husband too a lot.
Yeah.
He is a good person, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
But when he's with me, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
dad mode comes on.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And I'm trying right now to teach him about situational awareness, which is difficult for a 6-year-old.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I'm glad you said that, because I would like to be more proactive in talking to my son about, when you're out, this is what I need you to look out for.
Right. And it's not even to put any sort of fear. Right now I'm trying to teach him situational awareness so he doesn't keep knocking shit over. And
sure.
These are your arms.
Practical reasons, yeah.
You need to...
You're a little bull in a china shop.
Yeah, hands in pockets.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also... I feel like those little steps are steps towards... Okay, I need to be aware of this thing right here, and it could be making its way towards me. It could be making its way away from me. But either way, knowing that it's there. Yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, I love those moments in movies, and they do it in Bourne, like the Bourne Identity. I can't remember, some Bourne movie, but where he is like, well, there are 73 people in here. One person is doing this. The other person is doing that.
Right.
That ultimate situational awareness of I have done all the math in my head.
Right.
And this is what is happening here right now.
Sure.
That is just.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I had it. I do feel like I do have some situational awareness, but we never know until we're put into a situation where we truly have to use it.
Yeah.
But
I think even if you're just more conscious about it, you have a better shot than being so caught up in drama or your phone or whatever is taking your attention away from your environment.
No, absolutely.
And I think if you're more aware, and we can't always, I say we, but I can't always seem to be hyper aware of everything, and I do have to sacrifice that to establish a more meaningful interaction with people, because if I'm paying attention to everything else, how am I going to hear what they're saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's give and take in situations, but
for sure.
But in essence, I think that if I can change your mind about anything, I think it's to make you aware of your effect on your community is through your small idiosyncratic, interactions with people, because at the end of the day, that's what people take with them, is that interaction with you. Hey, that salesman was really nice. He didn't, I know he wants to make a sale, but he connected eyes with me. He acknowledged what I was saying. He listened. And I know you're like that, you know what I mean? But I think you not seeing it the way it is, I think it's good to make that shift, is because you're doing your part. By being the best version of yourself, you're doing your part in society. And anybody who's got their wherewithal in their mind will, if they can heed to that a little bit and say, oh, my real contribution is my interaction with people throughout the day.
Right.
So something like road rage, if you're out in the street and somebody cuts you off and you don't really react, that's another step closer to world peace, quite frankly. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, no, absolutely.
So that is what you can do, because we are, in the hive mind perspective, we're all connected. And when I see another person doing the right thing, behaving the right way, it encourages me to do the same thing. So not everybody's going to be that way, especially these people who are so mentally ill, they take assault rifles and annihilate some of their community. You know what I mean? But on a smaller scale, if you just continue, for you being who you are, that is your only. If you at some point you feel obliged to take your resources and spread them out a little bit, that's on you, and that should be for your own interest.
Right.
What you think that should do, that you buy into what the story you tell yourself. Great. If it helps other people, great. It's the same thing with any belief system. If it helps you better you and your community, perfect. That's what you should do. Nice. You know what I mean? It's all an energetic sort of balancing out, of yourself. And
oh, for sure. Spreading positive energy. I mean, I'm definitely all about that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I have been really cognizant of, just trying to spread happiness. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you're feeling happy and you spread happiness, then great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's better than being a stick in the mud.
And then also being vulnerable to help, being able to accept help, right. Because I think when you're not able to spread happiness and you're sort of in a darker place in your mind, I think instead of putting up a wall and not letting people in, it should be okay to be honest when somebody asks you, how are you doing? It should be okay to say, oh, not that great. I'd rather be doing this, or I'd rather be doing that. Let them offer you some other perspective, because that's what you're looking for, right? You want to be pulled out of this hole you're in. So some people will take you up on it. Some people say, oh, that's fucked up. Why? Why do you feel that way? And then you can have a moment, free therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we pay these professionals for. It's just to fucking listen to you. You know what I mean? So, but I think, with your emotional intellect, you kind of have to be conscious of some of those decisions that you're making in the community. It's like, how am I being right now? And does it serve me or anybody else? And
right.
That's just my perspective. I think
no, absolutely. I completely agree. I think, I didn't even really look at it that way. Yeah. I'm maybe almost was looking at it in a more selfish way, I guess, in some respect, because I definitely try to make people smile. Yeah. I definitely smile at people all the time. Sure. And it's because I like smiles back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really what it is I enjoy seeing happiness on other people. Maybe if only for just a second. Sure. Like if I smile and wave, if you, most of the time when I pull up to a stop sign, I'm waving the person on because I like that. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. And I've been very fortunate. I've been getting a lot of my coffee for free because of my chipper demisdemeanor.
Yeah. Well, good for you. It's paying off.
It's paying off.
Thanks, camera, whichever one.
Yeah. They're both a bitch. Yeah. No, but I mean, keep me caffeinated. No, but really it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just affecting your community in a positive way.
Yeah, just keeping that in your heart.
And even in a small way, right?
Yeah. That's the only way. And I think that's important because a lot of people like yourself start to feel really small and insignificant in terms of the community, but the only real change is with you and your inner circle. That's where it starts. Right. You know what I mean? You don't have to be this philanthropic, idol out there. You don't have to. It's not a pair of shoes you have to fill. I know sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it's like, I'm not doing enough. I don't do this. Right. I've felt that way. I've had to deal with that issue myself because I'm like, well, I know all these people who do, what do you call it? Like stuff with the homeless. Right. I know these people who are involved and create opportunities, and I don't participate. I started feeling a sense of guilt. But the truth is, like, what if I went there? Why would I be doing it? It would be to save my reputation within my head. Like, oh, I have to be doing it. I don't really want to be there. So that eliminates that whole thought process. Like, why am I even spending time thinking about it? What's happening right now, here and now?
Right.
Well, if I go out in public, if I'm working, then I need to really try and watch my attitude because what happens is, like, in this body, there's an imbalance where I don't have all the energy that I could have because of lack of self-care or bad nutrition or whatever. So then I get out there and I start huffing around and pushing heavy things around, and I start getting tired. When I'm tired, I don't have my full capacity to be compassionate. I'm not working at my 100%. So then I have to be really mindful of how I put that energy out there. When I go into an establishment and deliver something, there's going to be somebody there who may be having a shitty day as well. And I'll give you an example. There's this lady at one of my early stops in the day who is obviously not very happy with the world. I don't know specifically what she's dealing with, but she is so cold and seemingly miserable on the outside. And one day in particular, I allowed that to put some negative momentum in my day.
Oh, no.
And it carried through all the way to when I got off of work. And the next day I was thinking, I was making this plan in my head. If I see her, I'm going to give her an honest moment. And this was all selfish on me. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to teach her a lesson. I wanted to confront her and say, I apologize, and let her say, well, why? Because I blamed you for my horrible day yesterday. Oh, well, why would you do that? I didn't do anything to you. Well, because you had such a shitty attitude. I was going to let her have it. But then I realized, I'm like, that is only serving my ego.
Right.
I need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You have to not do drugs and alcohol so that you know how to cope with stressful moments like that.
Yeah.
Because if you're always hiding behind the use of a stimulant, when you use those things to kind of, blanket over some issues or some inability to cope with stress, they don't get better unless you work at it.
Right.
If you work at it, and if you take care of yourself mentally and physically, you can then be a more productive member of the community and give back the only true way a person should be obligated to, by being their best self in the public when you're out there sharing the world with everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, this message has become so prominent in my life. The real struggle is getting myself to live it out. You know what I mean? Like, getting myself to be that best self. Like, that's the real struggle. So, with addictions and, habits of creature habits and things like that, like, that's the real struggle for me. But conceptually, I get it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No,
I do that.
All good. You rant a little bit.
Sorry, man.
No.
I feel so passionate about it, and when I listen back to the feedback, I'm like, shut the fuck up already. Yeah, it'll happen.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's got to be tough. I mean, starting something like this, you want it to be as conversational as possible, I imagine. You don't want it to be question, answer.
Yeah.
But I can also see that you're trying to find the balance of it as well.
Yeah, trying to say it in the most legitimate way without forcing my ideas down your throat.
Right.
Cause,
no, for sure. Because it's never fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do all day.
There we go.
Force my ideas down people's throats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see how it feels?
That's funny.
Anyways.
That's funny.
So Pete Holmes.
Yes.
And his talks on consciousness or philosophy of life. You seem to have some interest in that topic.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
I know I'm stealing that subject matter from
No,
this podcast,
I get it. I just, I don't know. I don't even really know where to start.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is your religious standpoint or spiritual? Like, what do you...
I just feel like I should just be a good person because I should just be a good person.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah. Not particularly. I don't hate people who believe in God. I don't think that they're the worst. I think that organized religion has done some things that are not ideal for our society. And I think that there's a lot of hiding behind it that people do to get away with being really awful to other people. And it's, the whole thing in our society about being homophobic or, the whole abortion conversation and all of these things that people hide behind God. Like, well, he says we can't do it.
Sure.
So, it's not us, and these really rigid beliefs. I think that can be very negative. But at the same time, I think that there are a lot of great teachings in religion as far as like having a moral compass and doing things the right way. But the fact that we're hiding behind something that is supposedly thousands of years old, it seems close-minded.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't hate on people for being religious. I think that it's really good for a lot of people. It's not me. I want to be a good person because I want to be a good person. I don't need something telling me that I need to be good, like thou shalt not kill. It's like, no, I'm not going to kill because I don't want to.
Yeah. But why don't you want to?
I don't know. I guess that do unto others as you would have done unto you.
Well, did you grow up in a...
I did. My
religion?
mother was Catholic for a bit, and then we switched over and we were Christian, and we went to a church, and I went to youth group and all that stuff. So it is in there, right?
So some of the fundamentals really stuck.
Yes. But then the church kind of like banished us, or we weren't allowed to be friends with certain people because
I've experienced stuff like that.
Yeah. Right, because we were getting ready to leave the area, and all of a sudden these people didn't want to talk to us, and it was just like, why would you even feel that way? It's like, we're doing things for our life. I mean, why do you need to impact that at all?
Yeah.
And why can't we still talk to you and be friends if we're not around? Like, and we didn't understand that. And so my mom got a really bitter taste in her mouth for Christianity.
Yeah.
I'd always had questions like, come on, really? Big ass boat, lots of animals.
Yeah.
That there were stories that were just that to me, and it's just like, you're always told all through childhood when you watch like a scary movie, it's not real.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we read all these books. I mean, shoot, I pointed out the Lord of the Rings, while I was here. That has some fundamental things that are good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's not a religion though. Some people treat it like it's a religion, but it's not a religion.
Why not? The Dianetics are a fucking thing. I mean,
right. And so I think there are so many I don't know, there are just so many ways to go through life, and to be closed-minded just seems like a really tough way to go.
I think you grew past the outer layer of what religion brought. I think traditionally, yes, the take on how to implement religious beliefs into the community or your family or whatever are outdated, a little outrageous in a lot of ways. But I think the fundamentals do a good job. I think.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think that's really the true essence of religion, or what it should be, is these stories may not be so literal, but the the essence of these stories make a lot of sense.
Right.
When you're faced with certain equations in your life and you need a solution, a lot of the formulas in that book offer some real
That's
sound
true.
experience.
Absolutely. And as much as I would really, honestly, I've always been a little, I don't want to say jealous. It's not jealousy, but intrigued at these people who are able to just give themselves up to God. You know, I hear that phrase a lot with, you know, people that I've encountered. And I wish I had that ability. I feel like that it would help in a lot of different things because, you know, I have dealt with depression and anxiety and all these different things, and I wish I had somewhere to go with it. And I've tried. It's not that in my adult life I have tried. I've gone to church. I've listened and tried to actively participate in what was going on. I couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, I'd gotten invited to church a couple of times, and the thing that really bothered me was that after church got out, the road rage of the people trying to leave. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Didn't we all just love one another 30, like not even 30 minutes ago? Yeah. And now all of a sudden you're honking at me because I'm in your way? Like, where?
Yeah, there's a lot of contradictions that really stand out.
Right.
After an experience that should seemingly mean a very specific thing.
Right.
But I think, I'm coming from a place where I was really adverse to hearing God talk and religious talk at all, biblical stories and things like that. Because I had an experience where, same as you, I had these questions that were not getting answered. I was being vilified for even asking these questions. Like, how do you doubt, this is sacrilegious? And it's like, no, I have questions. That's not a problem. That shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
And eventually got, pushed aside and not able to participate, which taught me a really valuable lesson, which is that's just not the community for me. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think the way I do. That's okay. I need to go out into the world and find like-minded people. That didn't mean the religion was bad. It just meant those people were bad at the religion. You know what I mean?
No, and I completely agree. I have nothing, zero things against people wanting to do that for themselves.
Yeah.
I was about to say I have nothing against religion, but that's not true. I have lots of things against religion. Yeah. I think that there have been, because let's just look at wars.
Yeah.
And
totally.
A lot of them have a religious aspect.
Yeah. I think what it is religion with ancient human capacity. Like, our capacity to think about things in a rational, logical, all-encompassed sort of way is very limited and very tainted right now. We're still evolving. I think that the fundamental beliefs in religion have a place in society, create some structure, create some rules. They're a guideline to respecting certain parts of life, and they're a good way to sort of guide you at certain age points in your life. Like, oh, that's fairly normal. And I don't think that it means you have to be perfect and you have to live by every rule exact. But I think when somebody says, I gave my life to God, I think it's more of, a healing process. I think it's like, okay, I have all these stories about myself that I believe. God doesn't believe that about me. According to the Bible, that's not what he believes about me. Well, I give this all to God. I give that belief system up to God, and I will take God's perspective on me and humanity. Then when you start working from a place of peace and a place of togetherness and community, and you start giving yourself to that way of living, you then gain the benefits of that. It's just an equation or a possible solution, a formula to help you navigate through a life that's tainted with bad ideas, bad choices, a bad way of thinking about things. And I think that
but what constitutes bad?
It's not serving you or the community around you. If you're creating a wave of damage to yourself or others around you, clearly those decisions aren't in your favor. Now, if you want to live in the dark, and if for whatever reason you're compelled to treat life a certain way, that's on you. I mean, honestly, hell and heaven are right here on earth. You can experience both of those things in this life.
Right.
And if your decisions lead you down a path of dark, painful misery, that's your life.
But then you have a lot of people that are projecting their beliefs onto you, and some could say that, someone who has come out as gay is living that dark and painful and creating a wave of destruction. Like, people can put that onto other people.
Sure.
And then they themselves feel that way. And I don't think that that's fair.
No, and I agree. But I think that's not the community they should be around. They should go and live in a community that is more suitable for them.
It's weird because I think some of the strongest hate that I have seen has come from communities of a lot of religion.
Yeah.
You've got what's the West something Baptist Church?
Westboro Baptist Church.
The Westboro Baptist Church, which have done a lot of, campaigning and have honestly been spreading a lot of hate.
Sure. Yeah.
And to be coming from some place where it's all about love and acceptance and forgiveness. I mean, that's a huge part of religion, is forgiveness.
Yeah.
And yet we can't seem to forgive everybody.
Right.
Unless they fall under our belief system.
But going back to being aware of your immediate surrounding, intellectually, that's what they're doing. They're not paying attention to what's going on in their reality. They're focused on something that isn't even real. It doesn't matter what they believe outside of what's happening now. That contradicts the peace and the community, or the sense of community, to their immediate surroundings. So that's inadvertently going to be, they don't know it, but that's going to create a rough path for them and anybody who gets around them. So going back to, homosexuals in a community that doesn't accept them, a lot of times, unfortunately, until we evolve to the point where we can see things clearly, until a majority of us that don't actually do come around the bend, unfortunately, people who deal with that have to find a new community. You hear about it all the time. And that's the other part, is like, we hear the highlights of the shitty stuff, but there's good things happening too. There are churches with gay leaders in them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
definitely. I definitely think that there are communities out there, but I don't think that it's fair that, you've got a 15-year-old who is having questions about his feelings in the Midwest, and all of a sudden his community is now against him.
Yeah, totally.
Like stuff like that, and the suicide rate of teenagers and all of that because of those messages that are spread by those people. Yeah, that is
a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I don't disagree at all.
It comes about because of these hardline religious people. Yeah. So I guess to sum up my thought, I think that there are a lot of really good people, honest to goodness, good people within religion. I don't think that I really do feel that. I think that there are a lot of really good people out of religion too. Totally.
Right? I agree.
Right. So
if you take language out of it and you're looking at it energetically, everybody fits into the same thing. All good people are good people, religious or not. Right. You know what I mean? And that's a community you can exist in with positive energy. So that doesn't, if you take language out of it, because it's almost irrelevant, quite frankly. I mean, looking at it at a micro level, conversation is just sounds and symbols people use to connect to one another, then create an energetic sort of aura about them, and then the community that believes sort of similarly the same way. I mean, you just kind of you fly with your flock or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? You swim with your school of fish or what have you. But I think what I'm trying to say is
I'm a sardine and I want to swim with the tuna.
Yeah, exactly. Did you know you can't tune a fish, but you can tune a piano?
Okay.
Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is I have spent time getting angry about the issues, the things you highlighted as a problem. I've spent a lot of time frustrated to the point where I'm like, I'm almost fucking hateful. And it's the same energy as those fucking West Bapto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's easy to get worked up. And then when the essence of like, and here's the thing, I want you to, a little side note here. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just trying to offer this really unique perspective that gets me off the hook with anger, frustration, and hate. I no longer have to have those in my heart, because after a while, having gay friends, having friends that are very different, and me personally growing up the little fat kid dealing with isolation and paranoia.
Right.
It's all the same. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to get angry and frustrated. And when you see the news about two parties going at each other with violence, that doesn't solve anything.
No.
You know what I mean? So I'm personally just trying to come at it from a peaceful approach and allow people to believe what they believe, but offer a alternative perspective.
Right.
Because that's all I can do. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the only effect I can truly make a positive, difference.
And to your point of being in communities, because again, there are people who, I wish everybody could just be accepting and forgiving of everybody's, differences. I understand that's not the case. And so to your point of being like going to a community that is accepting and understanding, that does make a lot of sense, and we, I guess we should do that more.
Well, all we need to do is be a part of the community that accepts. That's it.
Right.
Keep your doors open to people who are looking. You know what I mean? That is what Jesus would do. That's what that comes from. It's like, open your heart. Be an example.
Hang out with the lepers. They know how to party.
There you go. Come on in. The water's warm. Yeah. Okay. So, well, you don't really have any philosophical takes on it, huh? As far as like, what about the universe and the Big Bang Theory and?
Boy, all of that.
Clearly,
I don't know. I'm here, man.
Yeah.
It's like
that's all that matters to you.
I want to have some big thought about it. But honestly, I don't know.
It's not something you really think about.
No, not really. I think that there's extraterrestrial life. I think that there are planets out there that can support life forms, and I think that they do and have done so for a very long time. I think it's just I try to wrap my head around what's going on as far as the universe goes. Mm-hmm. But damn, man, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big. And
it's really big.
It's really big.
And it's getting bigger.
Constantly.
Right?
NASA just found a habitable planet. It's close enough to the sun to where it can support life, and there's possibility of having water on it. It's only 33 million light years away, I think. I can't remember the exact figures.
That's it?
That's it.
You could take an Uber.
Exactly.
And I hope there's chihuahuas on the planet, so then I'd have a place to send those little fuckers.
Send the little...
Well, I recently subscribed to a theory about aliens.
Ooh.
And I guess I'd given it thought over some time, but the idea that when we look at planets light years away, they're exactly that. They are take that many years for light to reach that planet.
Right.
And then in theory also, like a black hole, what you're looking at may not necessarily be there anymore.
Right.
And I think that aliens quite possibly are humans of the distant future that have created a technology to be able to essentially travel in time, if time is even a thing, but essentially be able to come back to the planet and observe. And I think that's the reason why it's not hostile. I don't think they're here to disrupt the progress as a species. I don't think that's the goal. I think they are a future version of humans. That's why I think that there's no sexual organs. I think that their bodies don't look the same because it's not needed. That's a product of living on this planet
And
in this environment.
That's how they know that we like to have stuff put in our butt.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Well, they know it's effective.
They know
yeah.
that's
He's either going to love it or hate it. yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
So-
Well, no, that's an interesting thought process. I feel like we're too big. The universe is too big, and there are too many stars. Because each one of those stars could support a solar system.
Yeah.
Each one of them, and there are so many. There are so many of them.
You ever heard of Deepak Chopra?
Yes.
His explanation of, or one of his explanations of what space and the universe or the galaxy is just a reflection of the human mind. And also that consciousness is the universe awake looking back at itself. I just love those descriptions.
That is.
So to your point of not really prioritizing that thought process or even having any real interest, I think that's fine because it doesn't really matter. The truth is we don't know, and we will never fucking know. Never. The whole point of a concept like infinity is to keep going. We don't know. So
Right.
you go. You pick up, you survive, you go, and that's the point of life, is to not know.
And unfortunately, that's kind of been my take on like politics and religion, honestly. Is just like, it doesn't affect me currently.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel strongly. Like, I don't like messages of hate. I don't like, I don't like feeling like our communities and our society is being taken advantage of by people with a lot more resources than what everybody else has. Those sorts of things do frustrate me. But currently, I'm doing all right for myself. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to eat, and I get to spend time with my son. And really, honestly, not a whole hell of a lot else matters.
And that's fine. Because I think that you have to get to a place where you're taking such good care of yourself. If you were ever in a position that freed you up of time, freed some resource up of yours, and you were obliged to give back somehow, then you can really start putting more energy into something else.
In a small way, I tip service people.
Sure. Yeah.
And I just, because I was there.
Yeah.
And I know that any small contribution can, increase what they're taking
So
home.
if you got a pizza delivery for $40, what would you tip?
Yeah, probably $10.
Really? Damn. I
Maybe
tipped like $5 or $6.
Yeah, it'd probably be between 5 and 10.
And I thought I was doing well, but now I feel inadequate.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm
$10?
20%.
Jesus.
I'm a 20%er.
Well, and you should be.
Especially
frankly,
at a restaurant,
I'm a bad tipper.
especially if my bartender is taking care of me. It just is. Because I've been there. I've been the server that has gone out of their way to try to make someone's experience good.
Yeah.
And I've gotten really good tips, and I've gotten really shitty tips.
Yeah.
And the really shitty tips take something from you.
Yeah.
Getting a 0 on that piece of paper, bro, you're just like,
I hate the world.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts because you really, at least when I was doing it, I was really passionate about food and I was really passionate about taking care of people. You know, I wasn't always the best server, maybe adequate.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I'm sure you provide other good service elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Guys, sunrise and antelope between the hours of 9 p.m. and midnight.
What? How you doing on time?
I mean, I'm chilling. Let me shoot off a text really quick.
Okay, I'm gonna piss.
I am going to join you afterwards.
Afterwards?
Yeah, actually, I'd rather do it during, but
Okay.
no. Oh, I don't know. She'll text me. I think her lunch is at 2:00, and I maybe wanted to go grab coffee with her.
Okay, so hold on. So the original plan was to meet up for something to eat or coffee that night. The day you said you got the date.
Oh no, I was planning on taking that particular person because this is a different person.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I'm
Wait,
meeting her at 2.
What time is it? Hotel.
That's 11:43.
Oh my God, we got to get you out of here. You got to get dressed. You got to put your
I'm going like this.
pantyhose on.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Get your massage. Get your go play your 9 rounds of golf. I don't know what you rich people do anymore.
I do play golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you look like a golf player.
Fuck you.
You do though. I mean, you got this fucking. What color is that? Pastel?
Teal?
Teal? You've got a teal polo shirt on with some fucking dollar store Ray-Bans on your neck, and your hair
Knockabout?
is very nice. Your hair is always pretty nice.
Oh, thanks.
I let mine grow out to a point of embarrassment. My woman is not sexually attracted to my head, my face right now. My head. Touche, pussycat. Texting lovers, planning a sexual endeavor. Coffee leads to anal. I'm hopeful.
Ay.
Well, congratulations on your recent fornication. This is promising to your future of procreation. Your
Can we, because I'm really enjoying this,
yeah,
and I don't want to leave.
yeah,
I do also really want to go on this date.
of course.
Is this an open invitation? Can I come back and do more? Or is it just kind of like a one and done?
Well, things are really taking off.
Things are really
I got a long list of guests.
A long list of guests.
No, of course, man.
Okay.
I mean, I want you to get love and you know,
and
companionship.
the thing is that I am truly enjoying myself. Like this is a lot of fun.
Are you sure? I've been asking a lot of hard questions.
Yeah, I know. I'm good.
Okay.
I
How much time? You want to end it now?
I don't know what her plans are.
Piece of shit.
I know, right? I don't know where.
You don't know what her plans are?
No, we were supposed to meet between her going to lunch at 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long I want to spend with her though. And
Yeah, we'll get some confirmation and then we'll
All right,
cut
yeah.
it short.
Yeah,
But let me ask you a couple of closing questions in case we do need to cut it short. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think of AI?
Oh fuck! Oh god damn! Yeah, that would be a closing. It's I don't know, man. It's cool. It's great. Like some of the smart home things that we're doing right now. I mean, we are just making people's lives so easy, and you know, especially for people who have disabilities and the inability to do certain things, to then be able, like, all of this technology is taken off, and blind people can see, and all of deaf people can hear, colorblind people can see in color. Like, all this stuff is super cool. And then we get to artificial intelligence, and it's kind of like, man, if it truly can start thinking on its own, who knows where it goes.
So you picture like
death to all humans,
Terminator,
yeah, exactly,
type shit.
Well, I mean, because
they really did a good job in that movie of putting that in people's minds. 'Cause I think we all kind of think about that.
Well, here's the thing: I've never seen Terminator.
Really?
Never.
You fucking loser.
I know, right?
What the hell is wrong with you?
The other one that I was just brought to my attention that I've never seen, Shawshank Redemption. I have not seen that movie all the way through. I have seen the Family Guy version of Shawshank Redemption. So I know about Z. Watanabe.
This is why you're so passionate towards gays.
Ouch.
Just kidding.
Ouch.
I just poking fun. Poking fun at Pastel. That's all. That's good.
No, I mean, I think artificial intelligence has its place. But I mean, in every scenario that I've ever seen on TV, because that's always the truth,
Yeah.
right?
That's such a viable
they
reference.
realize that humans are the
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do the most damage.
We're meant to be imperfect.
Even the Earth can't kill us off as fast as we kill ourselves off.
Yeah. It's interesting
tries.
when humanity turns into like ants on an anthill. It's weird when we get put in that perspective, because all right, it's relative. Like, that's really what's going on. People who live by volcanoes or live near the ocean, it's like, well, what'd you expect? What'd you expect?
A nice view and maybe some time to surf.
Well, as long as you enjoyed it while it lasted,
right?
Then that's all that matters.
But it does seem to be that humans cause more pain and suffering for humans.
Yeah, I guess.
And so for an intelligence that doesn't necessarily have that compassion towards other human life, I would see it as like, oh, well, they're destroying everything, so
take them out.
Yeah. They would be better off.
Well, let's think about it in a more narcissistic way. Like, if you could, let's say if a woman was alone and felt horny.
Okay.
And all she had to do was clap twice, and the little vibrator would crawl out of the drawer and onto the bed and under the sheets, service the woman, get back out of the bed, crawl over to the sink, rinse itself off, crawl back into the drawer. I mean, wouldn't that benefit humanity in a big way? Or would you be jealous?
Nah, that makes just such a lonely existence, bro. Holy shit.
What about like virtual reality? It seems a little dangerous, right? To be able to just put a headset on, fuck all you want, and then you're good. Like, you don't need human interaction anymore. Doesn't that seem kind of bad? Like, who's going to fuck real people anymore? If you could just go into a room by yourself.
I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
You don't?
No,
Come on. Don't be scared.
No, I mean, I've been toying with the idea of buying like an Oculus, right? Because it's a virtual reality. It's a kind of an all encompassing. It's got games and you can watch movies, and they even have like, I think it's called Oculus. I can't remember what it's called, but you can like sit in like sports events.
Yeah.
And you can watch sporting events.
That's cool. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, they're doing that right now. So you can watch basketball games from front row, on the court.
Yeah.
They don't quite have it to where you are in your, like,
sure.
They should have some guy that's playing that just wears, like,
he's got one of those Google card.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Exactly. He's like playing. It's just, I think that'd be great. But, no, but as with everything technological, it all starts in porn.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, 3D, Blu-ray, HD, all of that stuff all made its way. I mean, porn advances faster than anything else. And
perversion, huh?
And well, I mean, we call it perversion, but it's I think it's honest to goodness. You know, we are just sexually.
We're monkeys, man.
We
We're
are.
just monkeys.
We are, and there are a lot of cultures that just take it at face value. It's like we're monkeys, and we like to fuck.
Rape and kill everybody.
The Europeans,
yeah,
you know, are very open about sex and
it's very different.
Sexual experiences and not having it so taboo.
Mm-hmm.
They should be better with their money, and I think they would last a little bit longer.
They'd have a better life,
right? Because their capitalist societies have not taken off the same way that ours has. But then again, ours is, I feel, completely based around like, if I make more money, more women will want to sleep with me.
Isn't that weird though? Like in American culture, we suppress sexuality at a young age. Mm-hmm. Sexuality and violence. We were just watching Tom and Jerry this morning. Very violent. Have you ever tried describing a Tom and Jerry episode to somebody?
So this cat tries to kill his best friend, the mouse.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't realize, because they're best friends. They're not. They're
yin
mortal enemies.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's Tom
bizarre,
and Jerry.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But so. You know, I think that's the benefit the generation of the 80s or the some of the millennials got to experience, is that it wasn't so taboo at first. And I think making things limited in such a way creates a yearning, a deeper and more, intense desire to experience those things. And I think kids of today, which may relate to the shootings or what have you, but I think that the trying to mask over some of this stuff is very dangerous. So I'm just wondering, like in Europe, in Norway, their prison system and their method of dealing with prisoners is a more rehabilitative approach, and they don't treat prisoners the same as they do in America. It seems to be working, but is that just for that community and what they grew up believing? I mean, is the non-taboo, thing with sexuality, does that help in mental health? Because here it's like you can't look at any of this shit, and then we throw them in a jail where they get treated like shit. It's like there's just all these broken things in American culture, whereas you couldn't take a prison like that in Norway and necessarily be able to implement the same approach here. Because you get into an American prison, prisoners are quite possibly very different because it's a more brutal mentality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
I'm just curious if that correlates in any way.
I mean, yeah, I think you're just the general upbringing of, members of the society. And
yeah,
man, we're just so big. We're just so big.
And so still very young. That's another big thing.
Still very young,
yeah.
Right? Still just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've only been around, 200 years?
250, I think.
250?
Oh, we're boff morons right now trying to figure that out.
Super are, right? 1892, Columbus. Nope, 1692, 1680. 1652.
Yeah, that's it.
That's wrong.
I don't know.
I know. I used to love history, man.
You did?
Yeah.
Now that's history.
That's history, exactly. It's too much.
Okay, last thing. I know you're eyeballing your technology
here. I hate
here.
doing that. I really...
No, you don't. If you hated it, you wouldn't do it.
You
like it. You're being self-absorbed, and you're okay with it. It's the truth.
Self-absorbed?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you're supposed to be here with me right now, and you're on your phone. I don't really care. Like, it's not really hurting me, but I just wanted to say it out loud because I think it bothers you.
It does. It really does. I feel really
squirm.
Bad for
your narcissism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. I don't I don't fight you with it.
I am a little.
You're a salesman. You guys are fucking slime balls anyways.
I mean,
I'm enjoying myself now, Nick. Hey, listen, last thing, okay?
okay.
And I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you feel bad.
It's okay.
I kind of do, but I love you.
It's okay.
I think you know that.
Yeah.
This is a segment I call Road Rage.
Okay.
And it can be kind of about anything you want. But the idea is for you to talk about a pet peeve of yours, something that you hate society for, or don't like society for, or a literal instance on the road in traffic, something that pisses you off to no end. I want to hear what you have to complain about.
Damn.
Any one thing that moves you the most.
The zipper.
What about the zipper?
Well, it's how we get on the freeway. And some people just don't understand. It's one car after another.
Oh, okay.
When two lanes come together.
Yeah.
And
the merge.
The merge.
You call it the zipper, huh?
Well, it should be a zipper.
Yeah.
One tooth at a
I
time.
agree. YKK.
Right?
Yeah.
YK.
It's an inside joke for zipper enthusiasts.
Funny enough, I did actually, when I lived in Argentina for a short period of time, I actually met a man whose family came up with the YKK zipper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
A really, really cool penthouse apartment. Like, his family owned one of the largest houses in Argentina. It was weird, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Sorry, side note. But yeah, no, the zipper merge properly, like one after another.
Yeah, the merge.
And,
yeah, that'd be my pet peeve on the road too.
I mean, that's.
What do you think would fix the problem? Education. Yes.
No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we let these people out onto the road without enough education on how to actually drive.
Yes, essentially, yes.
I mean,
okay, because listen, I had to look up on Google who is supposed to fucking merge. What's the etiquette here? What is supposed to happen? Because nobody seems to understand. And I think it's because the DMV doesn't accentuate this issue. The person who is getting on the freeway,
yes,
it's their responsibility to keep up with the flow of traffic, either to speed up and get in or slow down and wait your turn.
Yeah.
Their responsibility. It's not the person on the freeway. Mind you, it is nice, if you can, to scooch over a lane and let people in, if it's possible.
Right.
But otherwise, it is the merger's responsibility.
Oh, interesting.
FYI.
Okay. Well,
to solve that problem.
So step on the gas when you're getting on the freeway.
And that's your time, right?
No, I mean...
Did you get confirmation?
Yeah, I did. She wants to meet at Old Soul, and it's about
Where's that at?
20 minutes away, which would give us roughly an hour and 40 minutes to get to know each other, because this is our first meeting.
Okay.
And
Which one is this?
Her name is Brianna.
Brianna, if you're listening.
This
is the very beginning.
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I did it in a way that I don't normally do it, where I only had a pretty brief conversation after, swiping right. Oh,
Does she know about your herpes? Guess that's a no.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
So
Nick doesn't have herpes.
Do you wash these things
anymore? Wash what?
This big black thing hanging in my face. Do you wash this?
No. You should ask him yourself.
Oh my God.
No, I don't wash these.
Oh, okay. I'll get less close to it then. No, so I had just a brief conversation, and then, hey, let's meet up. Let's get to know each other. Just quick, easy. Let's not.
Wait. Where did you meet her?
At a coffee shop.
Okay. And kids? No kids?
Yeah, she does have kids.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spread her business.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm not. I won't.
Just in case she does listen to this.
Sure.
But yeah, it's hard to find someone with that matching thing.
Yeah.
Or it's not, and I'm just picky.
Well, you should be.
I am.
I mean, you have standards, If you didn't have standards, you'd be a slut.
Yes, you're right. That is the definition of a slut, I think.
Okay.
Is someone making noise? Is the cat?
I don't know what that is.
Is the cat causing a ruckus?
But we've had so many lovely
so
interruptions
many
today.
lovely interruptions.
But I'm going to keep some of them because I think they're funny, and I think
I
our
do too,
reaction to
yeah.
them was funny. And
No, I do agree. I really enjoyed this.
You did?
I really did.
You're not just saying that?
I am
Even
not.
after I embarrassed you recently?
And I can actually handle the sound of my own voice.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, don't be so harsh. I know that when you actually listen to the audio, because what I'll do is I'll edit and then I'll send you a link so that you can listen to it
Okay.
pre-release.
Great.
I think that's fair.
It is, absolutely. And then I can tell you things where I'm just like, hey, could we not?
And I'll say no. Don't worry, I'll protect identities of people.
Do I have to sign a release?
I was gonna make people. I have copies of it. But if you ever have an issue, I'll just take it down.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't want to. I don't want to have an issue. Most of our conversation, I would be very happy with people knowing that my opinions are limited.
I just, my idea is that this is our authentic selves. This is us having a conversation as people who know each other, who work in different industries and have some value in a relationship.
Yeah.
To offer the public.
I love it. I love it. Again, it was a really good time.
Okay.
And I would love to come back and do it again.
Okay.
Come up with different questions.
All right.
I put that on you.
Different questions.
Yeah, we're not
working
going to have
on
the
it.
same conversation.
I'm working on it. Yeah. This is a growing, evolving thing of mine, and
Awesome.
I love the process, man. It's to the point where, and I know you want to leave, and I'm just elongating this.
No. I'm just holding you up in a way that is making you very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's ever evolving, and it's maybe at some point going to have a very specific formula, but right now I'm just enjoying it, and it's like I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I wake up at 3 a.m.
Right, and write stuff down.
And write shit down.
That's cool.
And sometimes not write shit down.
Did you ask me all the questions that you wanted to ask me? Are there any like quick? Oh, okay. To the phone.
Stand by, please.
Talk shit about me being on the phone. Yet here he goes.
Oh wait, that's my sex notes.
Insert.
Well, see, I'll just tell you what I wrote down.
Okay.
Today,
Okay.
and then I'll have the other questions. But relative roads ideas. It's the name of the note title. Okay. And then one of them is called Setting Destinations. This is your current social identities.
Okay.
I'm talking about that with you. The next we did. I might change road rage to like role playing, like I kind of talked to you about earlier.
Yep.
I've got Final Destinations, which is dreams and aspirations.
And it rhymes. How beautiful.
Isn't that great?
Final Destinations.
The Fast Lane, which is rapid fire questions.
Yeah. Where's my fast lane?
Throw in there. Well, I'm working on this stuff. And then the off ramp is America's Future. That's us getting off the. And that's your thought on America's Future?
Yeah, no, I definitely think we're getting off the path that we should be on.
And then because I'm possibly splitting all the episodes into two pieces, because one portion is
I'm helping you. Now we'll come back and we'll do the real thing next time.
Okay, well there we go. The last thing, did she kill you?
No, I think I just kicked her.
The last thing is it's called Rest Stop, but that's the long form version of the podcast. It's just us having a conversation about whatever. That's what I would call, like, if I was to label that episode, it'd be Rest Stop with Nick.
Whatever. Oh, cool.
Nick the salesman.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, I don't want to use people's last names unless they don't care. Then I will.
Okay, Nick the salesman.
Because the idea is that you are a person who is doing sales for a living. This is your life. This is what people can possibly relate to. It doesn't have to be specific to you, but if you want to use your last name, whatever, sign the consent form and we'll go for it. Okay, so that was what I wrote at 3 a.m. the other day. It's like, cool. Oh, it's relative roads. Maybe I should do something like this, right?
Themes.
The questions, yes. Okay, the podcast interview questions are, what is your zodiac?
I'm a Virgo.
Virgo. Okay. Well, we won't dive into that today.
Yeah, no, next time.
That's one of them. Where did you grow up? You told me that. It was San Jose, right? Bay Area?
Yeah, Bay Area, South Bay.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Damn.
A karate expert.
I don't know. I was always theater, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actor, dancer.
Do you like people? You
Private dancer.
kind of said, yeah, private dancer.
Do
You're
I
still doing that.
Do I like people?
Yeah, but you kind of, we did talk about that briefly.
Yeah, I like people.
Yeah.
Generally.
Country's future, worst experience you've had at your current job.
Verno Joe Brown came to
Is that the
mind.
word? No.
It's not.
You know what? That was the other thing I wanted to touch on is that your experience with real racism.
Oh, yeah.
At your job.
Yeah, that was a little tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
You were shaken up pretty well by that.
I was, and then right after that experience, I got to go help a lovely lesbian couple. I talked to them about concrete and skylights, and that went much better.
Yeah.
And so my day, the beautiful part about this job is that you can have a really, really shitty appointment.
Yeah.
And then turn around and talk to some of your favorite people.
Yeah.
You
Fair
know?
enough.
Or you can have the opposite, and everybody is just a gray blob that has no personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, all day. At least the racist had some personality.
Sure.
It wasn't a good one, but it was there.
It was interesting hearing you talk about it because I have this movie in my head, you know, of what that might have looked like. It's probably nothing like it did, but just that was just so vivid of an experience. I could feel your energy through the phone. I was like, man, that's a pretty fucked up situation.
Yeah, it was weird, man.
It needs to be written into a film at some point.
Yeah. And just a short.
What would you change about the business you're in?
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to make small changes in the sense that I am definitely not pushy as a salesperson. Let people come to their own conclusions. But I mean, at the same time, like, I do really feel like the company I work for is trying to do it right.
Okay.
I really do.
Cool. That's a sufficient answer.
I have to believe that.
What would you change about yourself?
Better looking? No, just...
No, you can't get away with that one.
I can't get away with that one. Fuck.
You got straight teeth, nice hair, facial hair that grows properly, and a great physique. You have nothing to complain about.
I essentially, I don't know, self-confidence is something that I work on. It's something that I have been working on in a more meaningful way,
Sure.
I guess. Because I've always been like, I've always told myself that I have low self-confidence, and something that one of my coworkers has brought up on a number of occasions is, hey man, just stop talking negatively about yourself. There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
And you putting those negative thoughts in your own brain is only going to make things worse.
True that.
So
It's good advice.
yeah,
Brilliant.
but yeah, let's do this again.
Okay, one last question.
All right, one last question. I'm trying to wrap this shit up.
This is the last thing, okay?
No,
We'll
just-
officially make it the last thing.
Okay, the last thing.
What's something about you that nobody else knows?
Huh.
Or not a lot of people know? Your micro penis.
Yep, that's the one. that's the one. My itty bitty tic tac.
Sorry, Brianna. Good luck. Thank you.
No, it's something about me that nobody else knows. I don't know. That's always a tough one because there are things that I want to talk about that I don't know. They're like my dark things.
We need a campfire and a bottle of wine.
Even then, you can get me really drunk, and they are dark enough that, I mean, they're just thoughts.
Sure.
But
everybody has them.
Yeah.
Every single motherfucker out there.
No, understood. That's a tough one.
Okay.
I juggle. Not a lot of people know that.
You juggle well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll have to
I can
do
fit many balls in my hands. You see what I can do with my mouth.
Well, that and the big black thing in your face.
The
I
big
think
black
we'll have
thing.
a complete
Yeah,
picture.
exactly. It just felt really natural having it right there.
Okay, well, thank you for doing my podcast, Nick.
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun.
We'll
And
do it
I
again.
definitely look forward to coming back. And you have.
Well, everyone I ever meet goes here in this book. And now I met you, and you're going in the book.
I'm just a wandering nomad out on the interstate. Eventually all these roads just end up looking the same. I'm just a wandering nomad out on the interstate.